Alright, now that I've learned how to create tests and run tests with my students, now obviously I want to know how to see the results of those tests. So after I've given a test, obviously I would have gone through and saved the test results. You cannot shut the program down without opting to either save or not save. It won't let you. So now I'm going to go into session properties. I don't want to choose a session type this time. Instead I want to go down to this box here, click the arrow next to it, and select reports from there. It pulls up the test that my students have taken. For this one I'm going to pull up the quadrilateral pretest that my students took in November. You'll see that it appears in the playback and resume session box here, and now all I have to do is click start. When I do that, it shows a box that select a report. You can get individual student reports. More than likely you're going to be most interested in administrative reports, and so I'm going to go to administrative reports test results. You see that a description pops up, and now I have to select whether I want to print the results, get a PDF of the results, or look at a print preview. For now, let's get a print copy of the results, and you'll see that it does go straight to the printer. For now I'm going to cancel this. Always be very careful about that option, because there are times when you'll select a test that is going to print hundreds and hundreds of pages. So careful about that option. Instead, now I'm going to try the PDF. And this is actually going to save it somewhere. Even though it says print to PDF, what it really means is save it as a PDF. So if I wanted to save this in my math folder, I can click there. I can give this the file name of quadrilaterals pretest, and I can click save, and it has generated that report. Now if I go into that folder, here's my math folder, I simply look for the quadrilaterals pretest where I saved it right here. When I open it, I'm going to get my students listed. The reason that you're only seeing first names here is because this is my math class, and so I set up a separate class for them, and I did not enter their last names. And I can go through and see which of my students did well, which of my students didn't do so well. I can also look at the percentile rankings and use that to form groups. For instance, any student who got 88% of those questions correct can form a group. Any student that got 50% of those questions correct can form a group, and so on. So that's one way of getting my information out of the pretests and tests. I can also take a look at test analysis. When I do this, it gives me a few more options. I can select to show the section information, sort by objectives, show questions. Typically, if I'm just looking for students' results, these are going to be things that aren't of particular interest to me. However, I have used this option of show questions a few times for RTI paperwork, because it does show the question, shows the student's answer, and it shows the correct answer. So keep in mind, if you're choosing this option for things like the checkpoint test, the IMIs, the benchmarks, you could end up with quite a few pages. So just be careful when you're printing to make sure you know exactly what you're printing before you get started. Obviously, you can also see the students who missed certain questions, show the names under each response of who missed it and who got it right. Those are all options. For now, I'm going to cancel that. If I wanted to look at individual students, then I can go to the student test results. If we look here, and I say OK, it's going to show me this student. Now, because this was an instructor, a student-paced test, I had not actually entered in the questions, and so basically all we're seeing is how this student scored. However, if I change the test that I'm looking at and I instead look at, say, the IMI pretest, and I press start, now when I look at student test results and I do a print preview, if I say that I want to show the questions, maybe show the missed questions only, and I click OK, this one's going to take a little bit longer to create because it has so much more information involved. So we'll just take a little break here while it generates the report. Alright, it's almost done, and there it is. So it pops up, and as you can see, it shows me the student who we're looking at first, and it shows me each question. As you can tell, it shows me, for instance, that on number 6, the student got number 6 wrong on the pretest, but it also shows me the correct answer, so I can start looking for patterns in what they've missed. Of course, if I sort it by objective, because the benchmarks, checkpoints, and IMIs are sortable by objectives, I can do that a little bit more easily. And I can keep going through this student's complete test. Now I can get to my next student, and so everything is in this one section. I can see all of my students' results in this one document. Again, this is why I want to be very careful not to print, because at this point I would be talking about hundreds of pages more than likely. So I'll close that out. I can also look at the same test with test results. If I preview that, comes in much faster, and you can see that I can take a look at how my individual students did there. Alright, so that's the basics of looking at test results. It's pretty simple once you've done it a few times, so definitely take a few minutes to try it out for yourself once you've had your students take some tests. Even right now, you could probably look at your students' checkpoint results.